Morning. I'm in Toronto and I came out this morning to write my love letter to myself from love, and I was struck by looking beyond myself here and seeing this church that's nestled around this building in the middle of one of the main intersections in Toronto. And this week has felt like a breakthrough week in my work in the world. I have a master's in spirituality, and I feel like I've tried for decades to figure out how to live that out in a way that is in line with who I am, makes money, sustains me, and that's been hard to figure out. But this week, I was at a conference. And at this conference, I got to host a couple of different sessions of sharing the mental fitness tools that I have been learning and sharing in the world to help people quell their anxiety and stress, and ultimately connect with something bigger than themselves, connect with like how we are all one in this universe. We are all energetically connected somehow. And as each of us heals the little us from our childhood that got hurt, we show up differently, and thus the whole world is changed. And I had a moment in one of my sessions where 4 RBC executives had come to the room to do this work. And one of them stood up and said, "We need to get these tools in everyone's hands, because the more that these are in everyone's hands, the more the world will be changed for the better." And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is true. And so incredible to feel all of a sudden this like gate has opened up, this like pathway to bringing the spiritual, the divine, the healing, the wholeness to everyone, to people in the business sector. And so when I came out here to reflect on that experience, and then I looked over and saw this church that has the reflection of all the office buildings in it, that this building is built around it, it has withstood time in the middle of the business core of our country, I was just like, oh my goodness. And so I just had a really big cry here on the top of this rooftop with all the sirens going and, you know, people looking out of their hotel windows at me maybe. But I've come to realize I just have to let the feelings flow. And I'm just like in awe of having a moment of alignment where I can see a path through. There's so much of our lives as entrepreneurs and founders and all people where it feels like, what are we doing with our lives? Is this even the right thing? Should I have given it all in and gotten a real job? Should I have gotten, a job that makes money or does something really impactful? And I've just continued to keep going on this path, even when it has cost me ridicule, it has cost me poverty, it has cost me disrespect and relationships, and it has cost me putting myself through conversion therapy. It has cost me so many ways that it has not made sense to hold so steadfastly to this belief that we are all spiritual beings, and I need to find a way to connect more people with this something bigger. And it is not necessarily going to be Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism or Muslim. Like, it is something bigger than all of that. It is bigger than any man-made religion. It is connection to divinity. And it is not lost on me that as I've stood here, the sun has gotten more and more bright, shining. I feel more and more warmth around me from the cold, shadowy part that I was in when I first started this and felt when I came out here and had my cry. And my heart is so full. I'm so grateful to have this moment of seeing some clarity and some way forward of how these tools are going to be introduced in corporates and big business. And I know that that's where so many of our world decision makers are based. And so the more that we can bring healing tools to those spaces, the more our world will be changed for the better. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk, to my sermon this morning. Thank you for sharing in this moment with me. It's a private moment, but somehow I felt compelled to share it also because I know that so many of us have these moments, long seasons of doubt and wondering, what are we even doing? And I don't want to add to the rhetoric that you have to have a purpose and fulfill this big thing in the world, because really this has all happened because I've leaned more and more and more into my enchantments and the things that give me that deep, warm vanilla pudding hum of as Elizabeth Gilbert would say. And so I invite you also to just follow your bliss, your whatever it is that is like, yum, I like this. Do more of that.